Um, Hello, YouTube, Periscope, and now Facebook. Starting that off, and then once I go right there, okay, hello and welcome. So first off, shout out to John Leah Parker, who gave me some great feedback and told me that I've been talking for a little bit too long and rambling a little bit too much. So this hopefully will go a little bit better. So thank you for watching, and I would definitely really like your feedback. And at the end, I'm gonna make a request, and hopefully you will, see that. I'm really glad you watch. I'm trying to, hone my skills in front of the camera. And without any further ado, I want to get into today's talk, which is that coaching can be like a dangerous helicopter mission. One of my favorite TV shows of all time, let me put these a little closer together. One of my favorite TV shows of all time was called The Unit, and it was about the Delta Force, kind of covert operations, special forces, and it's a very fascinating show. And it was that the Delta Force guy was behind helping develop the show. So there was some realism to it, I'm sure. But it's a TV show, so whatever. But one of my favorite episodes features the character named Bob, and Bob is on a mission to transport a translator, and you're not really even sure what that mission exactly was, but they were flying in Russia, and the helicopter crashed. And so she wakes up in a concussion situation, and she starts to blame him for the crash, and he kind of sets her straight and says, look, the moment that machine rolls off the assembly line, its only thought in life is to kill you. And so this is kind of the same with coaching a team. I mean, coaching a team can be very dangerous in terms of our careers, because players kind of come out of nowhere with attitudes that we don't expect. Anybody who's been coaching for a long time knows that you run into players and parents who are coach killers. It happens. So, we have to know about that before we get into this stuff. I mean, I know a Division I coach, former Division I coach, who he recruited some people that kind of misrepresented themselves. They said they believed in certain values, I guess to impress him and get on the team. And then when they got on there, then it turned out that he'd recruited, 3 players who were really against him. And then he was forced out. So, that's pretty tough. And, these are the kind of things that we have to be watchful for. We as coaches, we go through, we fly our little machine there, and we have to, deal with some really interesting subtleties of coaching, And the reason I like the idea of the helicopter is because a helicopter is a very dangerous instrument. It's very much subject to sudden shifts in wind, and helicopters crash, a much higher percentage of time than airplanes do. So, and it's not an easy thing to learn how to fly. So a coach tried to teaching another coach how to coach, it's not an easy thing to translate all the little subtleties of how to deal with different wind currents and all that. Sometimes we have to, when everything's going well, we fly a certain way, and then when things are not, then we have to fly a different way, right? So realize that it takes time to gain the ability to have all this different subtleties in how you coach, and how different teams that you coach have different personalities, one year to the next. So, kids graduate and they're gone, and their influence on the team is over, and new kids join the team and they bring a different flavor of personality. The juniors that you had last year might have a different way of being team captains than last year's team captains. So year to year, the personality of the team changes, and the currents of how it all works change with it. All right. Oh, thank you, Alejandro. I see you there. Hello, Sanad. I see you there. So this is part of why it's so important to have a coaching philosophy that's written up, because that's your battle plan. That's your way to see your way through. It's your map to get through the chaos of all this. So I'm pretty sure I started here at 9. I'm going to go until 10 after, so or a little bit earlier than that. So when things are part of the plan also is to have good team captains and have them well trained. I mean, once you start with that, then that helps you to have a stronger rudder through the storms. So developing the relationship with your team captains is vital to having a successful season. And when those team captains are steady and have good character and you can count on them, then your path as a coach is steadier, right? If your captains are creating chaos for you, then you might have to fly faster to push through that. You might have to hold that stick a little tighter. So, it's a very interesting. And thank you. I appreciate the compliment about the analogy, because I kind of fell in love with it myself. It came to me, so I feel blessed that way. All right. So then another funny thing happens. You start developing. You have your coaching philosophy dealt with, and you explain it to your team captains, and you get them to kind of help you modify it if necessary. But a funny thing happens, even when you have good team captains, a lot of times they come out and they try to act like drill sergeants or fascists. And, that's where I like to go, hey, I like to bring my captains aside and go, hey, cool it on the concept of feeling like you have to tell everybody what to do. That is not how it works here, right? Be a lot more gentle in how all this works. Maybe they've seen too many movies that involve helicopters that have CGI in them, and they think they can fly the helicopter through a tunnel and chase a train and catch the back end of a car, right? That would be like a Mission Impossible movie. So, help keep them realistic about what the realities are and how exactly dangerous it really is. It's funny. I also think about Apocalypse Now and how they're in the helicopter and he's talking about they're going to go surf, so they got to see right there. We're going to go right down. Looks a little hot, Captain Kilgore. And he's like, do you want to fight or do you want to surf? Right. So anyway, they went in and secured that area a little bit, did some surfing. Anyway, so helping your captains to, A, be on board, and B, learn some of the subtleties of what it takes to be a really good leader, definitely improves your team cohesion. And you need a cohesive team. I mean, teams are like armies, and you need a strong cohesion of mission in order to achieve what you want, right? So now, when it comes to achieving that cohesion and team unity, I'm a huge believer in that, and I know some coaches are not necessarily believers in that, but I ascribe most of the best successes of my teams to when they were the most unified. So it's a major mission for me, and I hope that it's a major mission for you to have your team completely unified. Too many people are too fascinated by the individual talents of players, and all they see are puzzle pieces that fit together, but now there's a much more complex relationship that is dealt with there. And so in my book, The Art of Coaching High School Tennis, I essentially steal a chapter from Jim Lair in his book, Mental Toughness Training for Sports, where he gives 14 different activities that players can pursue to increase team unity. And the first one is get to know your teammates, because when you start to get to know them, then you start to develop empathy. And when you have empathy for your teammates, then you're going to have better relationships. So I'm going to try to wrap this up pretty quick, but some of the rules of engagement are that when you're setting the tone for how you want it to go, you have to be very clear about what you want in your program. And one thing that I always put forward is that we play fair in this program. We're gonna be the ones that derive the most satisfaction from our wins because we know we deserve them. So we're never gonna cheat. We're never gonna do any of that. So once you have all of these things settled and the team starts to come together, then you can start to have more of a mutual goal setting time, and people come together behind those goals. But the problem is many coaches out there will not listen to this stuff. They will not think about it. And so then they don't gain the benefit of having, thought this through and worked it out with their teams. So if that's you, sorry, my team's going to beat your team because we are unified and you aren't. So I'm sorry, that's a little too confrontational. But now, I want to finish with this. I mean, I want to let you know that with Bones Original, we're going to be running some super specials during the U.S. Open. So you're going to see those on my social media. And later, I'm going to go back and I'm going to put some images on here. But we're going to have some preferred player deals that will be one of a kind. And throughout the U.S. Open, we're going to be doing a blast every day to promote the brand and get things moving here in the U.S. So we have preferred player deals, and we have team uniform deals and with rewards for coaches. And as always, if you want a 20-minute call with me, I'll get on the phone, discuss with you any issue that you want to discuss in terms of developing your team. Yesterday morning, I had a 20-minute call with somebody, and it was great, and some good strategies were developed for moving to the next level. So anyway, thanks for watching. I'm gonna end my Periscope first. I think I went over 10 minutes, so I'm sorry. I'll try to do better. And then